where minds meet minds. And today on the channel we have a new mind, and we have a very special guest, Dr. Sreyas Vidyasagar, a seasoned business leader, global expert in industrial heavy machinery. He is currently serving as the Vice President and Global Head of the Industrial Heavy Machinery Practice at Tata Technologies. With nearly 25 years of experience in driving strategic leadership across various sectors, from product development to IT embedded systems, Dr. Vidyasagar has led global teams and played pivotal roles in top multinational companies like HCL, Tata and Caterpillar. His expertise lies in heavy machinery applications within mining and construction, as well as in program management, service delivery, and account management. And apart from his professional success, Dr. Vidyasagar is a martial arts enthusiast, which I was personally very impressed by, holding an international black belt in Ishin-Ryu Karate, and he's deeply involved in social initiatives for educational upliftment. He also enjoys photography, reading, and cooking in his free time. So let's dive into this engaging conversation, sir. Sir, how are you today?
Very good. Thank you so much for calling me here.
Yes, sir, it's a pleasure. So you had such an interesting journey across so many industries and roles. So, if you had to sum up your career in 3 words, what would that be?
So one word for 10 years.
However, you want to calculate that.
Well, in 3 words, if I have to sum up, I would say learn, evolve, and excel.
Wow. Can you come up with that? You just came up with that. That's amazing. Amazing, sir. So, again, coming back to all these incredible companies that you work for around so many global levels. So, is there like a particular project or a moment that stands out as a game changer for you in your entire career?
Not game changer, but something that I really relish and think back on. Are when you actually do something new, right? And so it becomes your baby. And fortunately, my first project was that. That happened with GE Appliances, and I was in US for that project. So we were actually developing this new feature called as Quick Chill, and that was actually developed from the scratch. And this was like almost 3 decades backstory, right? And so it started with the concept, then doing a small prototype, proving that the design really works, and then all the math that goes behind it, and then actually make that into a product. And then not just that, work with all the suppliers and then develop all those tools. And then the production was happening in Mexico, and so I had to actually go to Mexico and then even be part of the line setup and stuff. So right at the beginning of my career, I was able to see the complete end-to-end cycle of a product development. And that basically has stayed with me even today, because I refer back to those experiences even now, because that the process as engineering has not changed. And being part of that complete cycle actually helped me quite a bit in the later part of my career, because when I was leading large teams, since I have done these things myself as an engineer in the past, it was very easy to relate to the engineering teams and also review their work and really understand if what the team's struggles are, and provide some solutions as well. So I would say something like this, but then there were 2, 3 more times that these happened, but I think I will switch back to this thing as something that I
So once like you're already back to school journey. So for someone who's just starting out in their career, what's one piece of advice you wish you had received and you were in college before you stepped into this career and work?
financial understanding, right? I wish somebody had taught me while in the college how tax works, how mutual fund works, how futures and options work, um, where to invest, um, and then all these different tools. What's the level of risks that I should be taking at what stage? What I got was all from what my parents shared with me, and they came with a very conservative background. Obviously, I mean, that generation was conservative. So put it in FD. At that time, we had an instrument called NSEs. national savings scheme or something like that, saving certificate. So which would double your money. Initial was 6 years, then it became 7, then became 8, and then they stopped. So these were the traditional tools that I was advised to. I wish somebody had talked to me about, play in the market and then take some risks, do some stuff. Um, Maybe, I mean, I think even now today's students also need to focus on and get that education of getting a deeper understanding of finance, not as a subject, right? But as, yeah. So how does money work, right? How do you make wealth? So I think that's a very, very important thing that I think today's student needs to focus on. And there are no easy ways on this thing, right? It depends on who you talk to and what background they come with. They will be advising, but there needs to be a holistic uh, set of, I don't know, I mean, treatment to this subject, so that everybody gets a chance to choose what's the level of risk that they want to take, and how they want to multiply their wealth. So I think that's a very important thing that, yes. Yeah, yeah.
So going back to that extravagant activity, so about the black belt condition you granted. So what's the most valuable lesson martial arts has taught you that you apply now, really now in every level?
Practice.
Voice.
Yeah.
Guys, make it
Yeah.
practice.
See, Bruce Lee has said, I fear a guy who has practiced one kick 10,000 times, and not the guy who has practiced 10,000 kick one time, right? So while from martial arts perspective that's the case, but I always respect a guy, a, a professional, fellow professional, if they have done something for whatever period, whatever be the place they are in, however, whatever be the age, no problem. I mean, I will learn from them, right? I mean, because they are experts in their field, and then so sit with them, they understand what they have been doing, and especially the operators, right? So they keep doing the same thing over and over for days, months, whatever, and that those set of operations are what they always do. But then when you, as a design engineer, when you go and talk to them, the insights that you get from them with respect to that particular thing is amazing. And then you go and do this exercise with few of them, you will actually be at a very different level. And so, yeah, so I think if you see what has character taught me, I think it is practice. Not just practicing what I know from the art perspective, I practice even now, but then respect the practice of others and then learn from them.
So when we're still on the extracurricular board, outside of work, you're passionate about cooking and photography.
Yeah.
So we just randomly came to your house on a weekend.
Okay.
What's your go-to dish, or what would we find you photographing?
I would probably be barbecuing if I am not doing uppit. I love uppit. I can eat it 3 times a day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure you will not find more people who says this. Yeah, but yeah, but then barbecuing. But from photography perspective, now I have moved on to a little bit of macro. Yeah, so I mean, I'm putting this reverse lens adapter and then, using my existing lenses and doing that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So there is a ring that you can actually put. You can put your regular lens, you can turn it around, and then you will have to keep, yeah, you will have, yeah, 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 yeah. And so you will have to hit that right spot when it gets focused, and then you'll have to click. It's a little bit of an involved thing. It'll take some time, but it's fun.
That sounds more like it's like more than a hobby. I think it's very like deep dive into this. That is cool. I just what? Okay. Anyway. So you work across the world in places like the US, Mexico, India. So if you had to pick one place that made a lasting impact on you, and what would that be and why?
Okay. It's not the place per se that impacts you, it's the people, right? It does not matter. I mean, that same person in a different place would have probably made the same kind of impact. And that said, I think I liked working in Mexico a lot more because I'm it has a lot of history. Of course, India has too, but then since we are saying other countries other than India, there is a lot of history in Mexico. And then, if you're a little bit of a paranormal buff and things like that, there is a lot with respect to this Aztec and Inca civilization and those ziggurats and stuff. It's a very interesting country. And then there is, yeah, yeah, yeah. So and then the wildlife is awesome. Yeah, yeah. So I think I would say Mexico. But then yeah, as a country. But then, if you say from an impact perspective, I think it's people do.
Where they go, so people
Yes.
make all the decisions. Okay, so what's the most memorable piece of advice you've ever received from a mentor or a guide, or how has it shaped your life?
Okay. Um, so this was quite long back. There was a senior engineer from Czechoslovakia, and this was in US when I was working there. His name was Vince Kiss. KISS. It's yeah, yeah. So it's Kish from Czechoslovakian, Kish, KSH, KSCH or whatever, and it means king. But then when it becomes English, it was KISS. Kiss. So he used to say, you remember my name and the principle behind it. KISS stands for keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, comma, stupid. Yeah, yeah. So it's a very, very important concept, right? So we tend to overcomplicate things. And yeah, always, always. So it's you break it down, kind of transformed later on to, what's your end objective as well. So I always have this, what's your end objective, right? What do you want to achieve? And then are we reaching there in the most simplest manner? So that has been one key learning. And most recently, I mean, in the last 5 6 years, one of my mentors, he told, you should have the courage to stop working once you realize that you have made enough money for the rest of your life. And I thought about it. I saw where we stood, and then, I'm actually considering doing this. And then stop working in the sense that it's not be part of the corporate journey, right? Do what you like. Yeah, exit the system. Yes, exit the system. Yeah, yeah. So I think those two are uh, I mean, those two are really important pieces of advice. I mean, I have a lot of things, but these two stands out.
So finally, looking back, if you could relive one moment from your college years, what would it be and why?
Well, so there was not one specific thing, in my college days that I think I want to relive. It was a journey. It was a blur. But if I want to see, the easy answer is, I should probably do the whole thing in a fun way, right? Relive the whole college stuff in a fun way, because we come from a generation where the resources were very meager, and whatever was there had to be distributed across multiple demand. Yeah, and then there would be only so much for pay your hostel bill, pay your even from the drawing sheets perspective, and there was a demand on that stuff. And so at some point in time you think that while when you reach a certain stage in life, you reflect back on it and then kind of talk about those difficult times in a proud manner, that this was the journey that you went through. And then the easy answer for your question would be that it would be nice to um, have all those, not have all those things, and then have a nice easy life. But if you really think about it, I don't want to change that, because what happened then and the learnings that those experiences taught me has made me what I am today, and I love what I am today. And therefore, I don't want to change anything over there. Does it make sense?
You answered my question, but you wouldn't want it to be that way.
Yeah.
Good, that's nice. So yes, guys, I think we've got particular amazing session from Dr.Sreyas Vidyasagar. Thank you so much, sir, for being on our channel. And sir has come on college as a chief guest, and we just got him like this. We were like, no, sir, we want to do a podcast with you. And I think it was an amazing experience, especially for me, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? It was like, it's something, it's really something. So we will end this episode here. So we would again, once again, for RNSIT and Dr.Sreyas Vidyasagar to be on our channel. Thank you so much, sir, once again. And yes, please don't forget to subscribe to our Spotify and YouTube link will come below. So go and click that because you should listen. It's fun. Okay, and keep it simple. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.